Hi everyone, welcome back to the Koi Place. I'm Matt Cameron. This is our demo model that's just come back off a pond. So this spent a couple of weeks on a pond. What we've got to do now, we've run out of these. So we've got to build one. So we've got a couple of orders come in. One that will have a UV on the side, pump fed, and one gravity fed model. So this demo model, if you're interested in putting this unit on your pond, you live locally close to us near Burnley, come and pick this up. You can try it, see what you think, especially if you've got one of those pressure filters that are hard to clean. So today we are going to build a new one, or two rather. We've got our polyprop pipe. It's 6mm thick. We've got to cut this sheet down. And then we'll do it as a base panel first, then end panels. We've got to weld some bits onto the end panels, then weld it all together. First, I'll show you in each step as I go along. I'm not going to do one of these fast forward videos, and I've got nowhere to set the camera up. So yeah, let's get going. All right, so I've cut the first piece. So this is the base, and these two are the sides. What we do is I actually use it's like a 45-degree router bit. Cuts a little groove in there, and what that enables us to do, rather than cutting all the pieces individually, I can heat this up and bend it to 90 degrees and then weld it to that. So we're not relying on the weld for water tightness then. It's we'll use the weld just to keep it in that 90 degrees, and then we'll cut some end panels now, get them done. Right, so we've cut two side panels. This is the baffle. So you can see I've marked which way the up on each one, just because the dimensions are so close from top to bottom and left to right that I don't want to get confused on that. So what I'll do next is need to do some cutting and drilling. I'll use this is one from our larger box that we put in there, and I'll use that as a template over the top of that, use a step cutter and just put those holes in. So that's our baffle. You see that goes in the middle. Then what we need to do then with these two end panels is I've got some, this is 1.5" polyprop pipe. So I've marked it off 4 centimetres. This is to do our inlet and waste. And then what we'll do then is we've got our 1.5" cutter. We'll cut the centre, cut the bottom, and then weld on the 1.5" pipe. We've got the 2-inch cutter. That'll be cutting a centre hole there, which is down in there. And then we need to cut the plastic for this little, this is the box to make it pump fed. So it has the little weir plate in to bring the water up, hold the water higher up here. We want the water about here in this box. And then on the outlet, we've got, these are 2-inch ones. It's a lot different compared to this one. So the outlet needs a bit higher flow, so we'll put the 2-inch one on the end. Right, so I've cut the majority of the components out now. This is the end box that you see on there. So these are the components. So again, routed it out so we can bend that. We'll just heat it up a little bit, bend it up, get it to 90 degrees, and then we'll weld that in, see, from the opposite direction. That's the base there, and then this is the baffle that goes inside. So that'll go like that halfway. So it makes the water come up and over, creates like a weir, which is that plate there in the middle. So deburred everything, polish the edges, all the edges that I want to show, all your top edges all been polished off, deburred the pipes. So most of this stuff is ready to weld up with just 2 parts missing. And these are the most important parts. So this is the most important part, and that is the baffle for the water outlet. So what that does is it stops the water tracking. As the filter fills up with water, you think, oh, everything's running perfect, but it doesn't. Water will always run its easiest route, so if this wasn't here, water just runs straight across here, in the middle, through the middle of there, through the middle of there, and to there. So we have, this one's not as important, that's on the inlet. We're just going to split the flow up, because as the flow hits the front of the brushes, that'll split it up. The baffle helps, this drilled baffle will help split the water flow up. But it's this one, the end one. So in a gravity model, the pump would pull from here, and that does the same effect again. We've seen it hundreds of times where dirty water will just stain the cartridge that sits in here. It'll just stain the middle of that cartridge, showing that the water's tracking through. So there you have it. There's a couple of little baffles in the bottom, that's for the cartridge to sit on. You've got your tracks at the side just to hold the cartridge away from your outlet, and then we've got the tracks at the front just to hold the brush box in. I have got the cartridge ready to go into the new one, so there's your cartridge ready made. It's 10mm compressed Japanese matting. And this is the brush box. So this is ready made. These are the difficult parts to make. It's a bit of a faff making these, but bending the stainless steel rods and then putting an end plate on just so you don't get cut by these. I don't know if you can see them. Those stainless steel bars go through there. So we have like a brush box making day. Make loads up. So when that goes in there, because you have got gaps down the side. So when that slides in there, it helps just divert the flow of water through that brush. So that's a high density brush. Okay, let's get the next bits made.